Ragie's got some rage about skill check and we're going to re-roll Foray Forthwith. Foray isn't your ordinary celestial servant. He's a seasoned veteran of the cosmos, a cantankerous spacefarer who's traversed more star systems than you've had hot dinners. This isn't a cleric who simply prays for divine intervention. He embodies divine intervention. A storm in a teacup, a tempest in a spacecraft. Foray doesn't tread lightly around his adversaries. He marches forth, warhammer in hand, a glint in his eye that narrates tales of celestial might and a relentless resolve to make things right. Picture a cleric with the obstinacy of a neutron star, the temperament of a supernova, and a heart as expansive as the cosmos. That's Foray Forthwith. He dons the robes of a Tempest cleric, which signifies he's a divine warrior who refuses to sit idle and let the universe spin its course. He leaps into the commotion, swinging his warhammer and summoning lightning strikes like a celestial maestro, orchestrating a symphony of obliteration. But don't let gruff exterior deceive you. Beneath that sturdy shell, Foray possesses a heart. It may be a heart that's witnessed too much, endured too many cosmic tempests, but it's a heart nonetheless. It's this heart that propels him forward, fortifies his divine connection, and thrusts him into the battlefield against the forces of darkness. But what differentiates Foray from other clerics isn't merely his divine connection or his combat expertise, it's his personality. Yes, he's grumpy, but there's an undeniable allure to his cantankerous demeanor. He's a character who can make you erupt in laughter one minute and inspire you the next. He's equipped with a wit as sharp as his warhammer and a tongue as swift as a shooting star. Brace yourself for a celestial adventure unlike any other as we dissect the character and build of Foray Forthwith, the most cantankerous cleric in the universe. From his distinctive personality traits to his divine capabilities, we're set to analyze what makes Foray tick. Fasten your seatbelts as we delve into Foray Forthwith's character and build. We're about to embark on a cosmic odyssey, and it's impossible to predict where this crusty old cleric will take us. First and foremost, Foray's a Tempest cleric. Now, this isn't your run-of-the-mill cleric, no. This is a divine warrior, a celestial stormbringer, a tempest in the shape of a grumpy old man with a penchant for starlight. Picture him, if you will, not in frail robes of a traditional cleric, but in imposing plate mail, a veritable fortress of a man, bristling with the energy of the cosmos itself. Now you might be thinking, hold on, Ragie, Foray's strength isn't exactly sky high. But here's the thing, my friends, strength is for those muscle-bound barbarians, swinging their oversized swords around like they're in a budget space opera. Foray, on the other hand, he's got his trusty warhammer for those close-quarter scuffles, yes, but he also wields a spear. Reach, my friends, reach. He sends those celestial lizards scrambling from a distance before he wades in to deliver the divine reckoning. And let's not forget about dexterity. You may ask, but surely, Ragie, he needs to dodge, to weave, to duck and roll. Well, I'm here to tell you, who needs to dodge when you can take a hit? Dexterity is for those fancy-pants rogues, not our Foray. No, we're going to dump that dexterity and pour those points into Constitution instead. We're crafting a cleric that's more akin to a walking, talking lightning rod than a fragile glass cannon. But here's the real secret sauce. Wisdom. Our grumpy, star-faring cleric has a connection to his deity that's stronger than the gravitational pull of a black hole. We're going to crank that wisdom up to 11 because that's what fuels his spells, his divine connection. It's what allows him to call down lightning from the heavens, to send space pirates scurrying with their tentacles between their legs. He's not your typical cleric, he's a walking, talking lightning rod. A grumpy old man with a celestial touch and a heart of gold. That's Foray Forthwith, the Tempest cleric. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty of Foray's stats and abilities. So, we've established that Foray is a Tempest cleric, a grumpy old spacefarer who's more likely to grumble at you than offer a comforting word. But what about his stats? What makes him tick? Well, that's where things get interesting. Despite his grumbling demeanor, Foray isn't some feeble old man. No, this cleric is a powerhouse. Firstly, let's talk about strength. Sure, it might not be his highest stat, but don't let that fool you. You see, Foray doesn't rely on brute force. He's not a barbarian swinging a sword around like a madman. No, he's more refined than that. He's got a warhammer for close combat and a spear for when he needs a bit of distance. It's all about strategy and tactics with Foray, not mindless brawling, but strength isn't everything. Foray's a walking tank, and that's where his constitution comes in. He's able to take a hit and keep going, standing tall in the face of adversity. Picture him standing toe-to-toe with a space dragon, lightning crackling around him, not a hint of fear in his eyes. That's the kind of resilience we're talking about here. Then there's dexterity. Now, you might be thinking, but Ragie, he's a cleric. Shouldn't he be agile? Well, I'm here to tell you, agility isn't everything. Sometimes you just need to be able to take a hit. And that's where Foray excels. But the real star of the show here is wisdom. Foray's got a connection to his deity that's stronger than any physical force. It's this connection that fuels his spells, that gives him the power to call down lightning from the heavens and make space pirates quake in their boots. This is what makes Foray truly formidable. His physical prowess is impressive, sure, but it's his divine connection, his unwavering faith that truly sets him apart. So, there you have it. Foray's got a connection to his deity stronger than a black hole's pull. But remember, folks, Foray isn't just a combat machine. There's a lot more to him, and that's what makes him such an interesting character to roleplay. He's the grumpy grandpa of the cosmos, the celestial curmudgeon who finds joy in his discontentment. Foray's got a personality as stormy as the weather he commands. He's a tempest in a teapot, a grumpy old cleric with a heart of gold and a tongue as sharp as a dragon's tooth. He's not your typical holy man, no sir. He's more like a celestial storm cloud with a sense of humor as dry as Martian soil. When you're role-playing Foray, think of him as a gruff, cantankerous old geezer with a heart of gold. He's got a bark worse than his bite, and underneath that prickly exterior he actually cares. He's just not very good at showing it. Don't shy away from playing up his grumpiness, it's part of his charm. He's not afraid to speak his mind even if it ruffles a few feathers. He's a straight shooter, and that's something people can respect even if they don't always agree with him. But remember, underneath all that gruffness, Foray's got a heart. He's a cleric after all, sworn to protect and heal. So when the chips are down, he'll put himself on the line for his comrades. He might grumble about it, but he'll do it nonetheless. When it comes to interactions, imagine Foray trying to barter with a merchant. This price is a cosmic catastrophe. I've seen black holes with less suction than your business practices. Or maybe he's trying to convince a stubborn gatekeeper to let the party through. Listen, you interstellar imbecile, either let us through or I'll introduce you to the business end of my warhammer. And yet, despite his grumpiness, Foray has a dry wit that can leave you chuckling. His sarcastic quips and dry observations can add a touch of humor to even the most dire situations. It's this blend of gruffness, humor, and heart that makes Foray such a memorable character. Grumpy, but with a heart or at least a begrudging sense of duty. That's Foray Forthwith. Now it's your turn to bring Foray Forthwith to life. We've taken a whirlwind tour through the cosmos, peered into the heart of a storm, and got a taste of the celestial whoop-ass that our grumpy old cleric can dish out. But remember, the magic isn't just in the stats. It's in the stories you weave, the adventures you embark on, and the memories you create. So what will your Foray Forthwith be like? Will he be a grizzled veteran of 1,000 space battles, his warhammer echoing the fury of the cosmos? Or perhaps he's a reluctant hero, pulled from a life of quiet contemplation amongst the stars to stand against the darkness? Maybe he's just a curmudgeonly old man who wants nothing more than to sip his space tea in peace, but the universe just won't let him be. Remember, Foray's power comes not just from his divine connection, but from his stubbornness, his grit, his grumpiness. It's his character, his spirit, that makes him the force to be reckoned with that he is. So don your plate mail, grip that warhammer, and step into the shoes of the galaxy's grumpiest cleric. Let your voice rumble like distant thunder as you call down the divine fury upon your foes. Feel the energy crackle around you. Feel the power of the storm coursing through your veins. But most importantly, have fun with it. Let your imagination run wild. Explore the depths of the cosmos, the bounds of your character, and the limits of your creativity. Remember, this is your story, your adventure, your Foray Forthwith. So go forth, brave adventurers, and bring your version of Foray Forthwith to life. Let his grumpy wisdom guide you, let his celestial fury inspire you, and let his tale become a part of your own. Until our paths cross again in the vast expanse of the cosmos, keep those dice rolling and let the stars guide your way. Remember to subscribe for more content and critically hit that like button if you want more of old grumpy Ragie's insights.